They're going. Take it, step on it.
You killed that man. I saw you. You killed him.
Ah, shut up. Keep driving.
Dead.
I keep telling you I don't know. Maybe there were 3 of them.
If you were standing right by the door, you must have seen them come in. I'm only trying to find out how many there were.
I tell you, I don't remember. It all happened at once. I'd tell you if I knew.
What's the matter, Ann?
Oh, David. He keeps asking me how many bandits there were, and I don't know.
Well, officer, I guess you'll just have to take her word for it.
Everyone else said there were 3. She said she saw only 2.
Well, leave her alone. Can't you see she's half scared to death?
Well, I got to take her name and everything. She's a witness.
Her name is Ann Smith. She's a private nurse at the Samaritan Hospital. And if you want her phone number, she hasn't got one. Inspector, there's one for the morgue in there.
How come they called you instead of a police ambulance?
Well, we're right close by, you know.
Did you get the license number?
No, sir. But when you find the car, there'll be bullet holes in it. I emptied my gun at it.
Did you hit any of them?
I don't think so.
Why don't you ride back to the hospital with me?
I want to go home and lie down for a while. I'll take a taxi.
All right. Will I see you tonight?
I don't think so, David. I'm too nervous to be good company.
Well, you're not working now, and your evenings are free, and I could get off.
Please, David, not tonight.
Okay. But if you're nervous enough to need medical attention, don't go sending for any other doctor. You're engaged to me.
I won't.
Broadmoor Apartments.
Tom, it's Alan. Let me in.
What is it? What's happened?
I'm in trouble, Tom. Bad trouble.
Come into my office.
Oh, Dr. Trigger.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you about 605. His wife wouldn't sign for the operation.
Then there will be no operation.
But it's supposed to be an emergency.
As long as I'm in charge of this hospital, there will be no operations unless one of the patient's family signs the consent.
Yes, sir.
Well, Tom, I have bad news for you. I thought I'd tell you myself and explain it to you.
Turn me down again. You and your state board of examiners.
Yes, and I think you know why.
I don't know why, and I don't care. All I know is that this is the 3rd time you've stopped me from taking my state board examination and being admitted to practice.
Don't get excited, Kirby.
Who wouldn't be excited? You know the way I've studied and worked and slaved. You know what I've gone through. And still you can stand there and tell me you've turned me down again.
If I were you, I would show a little more respect for my superior.
Respect? Why should I respect anyone like you?
What? All right, Kirby. I'll overlook your bad manners this time. You're excited.
I'd like to get even with that Trigger. What did he do? He fixed it again. He fixed it so I couldn't take my state board examination. The 3rd time.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yes, but you're the one that's in the tough spot. We've got to figure some way out for you.
I don't know what to do. I can't go to the police, you know that. Those men I was with today are sure to kill me the first time they see me.
I'm as good as a dead man.
As good as a dead man. Yeah, that's it. What? Yeah, I got an idea. But let's get Ann on the phone. We'll need her for this.
What? He is? Well, yes. Yes, I'll be right over. Where is he?
In the office.
Darling, are you all right?
Yes, but I don't know about how long.
Look, Ann. I've an idea how to get Alan out of the trouble he's in. And you've got to help. Now listen.
Casey's still hiding out inside. All right, you and Sam keep that door covered. We'll watch the front. Okay.
We can't do a thing like that one. It's the craziest idea I've ever heard.
Not so crazy. We can do it.
It's mad. Mad, I tell you. Suppose we were caught.
We won't be. Even if we were, what of it? You wouldn't call that murder, would you?
Ann, I don't know what else to do. You've got to help me out of this.
But if it goes wrong?
It won't.
It looks like the only way out for me. Please, Ann, say you'll help.
I'm risking just as much as you are, Ann. There isn't anyone else I'd do a thing like this for.
All right. Anything to help you, darling.
That's fine. Now, I'll tell you what you do. You go home and wait for a call and leave everything else to me.
Excuse me, Miss Keats, I guess I must have tripped.
Dudley, you're an unusually clumsy probationer. Are you sure you want to be a nurse?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I just love to take care of sick people.
The first thing you better learn is to take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I ain't been feeling very well today.
You probably have indigestion from eating strawberries.
Strawberries? I ain't been eating strawberries. What makes you think that?
The patient in 322 was on a diet that prohibits strawberries. The diet chart shows you took some up to his room tonight. He didn't eat any, and I didn't go back to the kitchen. You took them out on the fire escape and ate them, didn't you?
Fire escape?
Fire escape's just been painted, and you've got green paint on your shoes, and your uniform's wet.
Gee, Miss Keats, you're sure a born detective.
Anyway, you've got strawberry juice on your uniform.
Oh.
If you ever expect to be a nurse, you've got to keep on your toes.
Yes, ma'am. There should be ashes here.
No, Dr. Triggett hasn't phoned in yet.
Excuse me, I'm Dr. Trickett's patient. He said you'd be expecting me.
Just a moment, please. Oh, yes, you're Mr. Tracy. You're to have room 708. You may go right up. Give this card to the girl in the chart room.
Is there a nurse by the name of Ann Smith attached to this hospital?
Yes, there is.
I'd like to have her assigned to my case if she's available.
I'll try to get her for you.
Thank you.
Hello? Oh, hello, Carson. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't come over tonight. I just got off a tough case. I'm all in. You can get someone else.
But he's Dr. Trigger's patient. You don't want to get him sore, aren't you?
Well, I'm not afraid of Trigger. Get someone else. What? His name's Alan Tracy? Well, why didn't you say so? I'll be right over.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, I just got up here. I made it all right.
Now, listen, be careful. Everything is set from this end. I'll work as quickly as I can. A thing like this has to be handled fast. I'll wait till Ann gets here. Right.
Oh, no!
What is it? What's the matter?
Oh! I've been sitting over there waiting for my doctor, but I can't stand it anymore. Oh! Get me a nurse and a doctor.
Just a minute. I'll call the night superintendent.
I don't want a superintendent. I want a doctor. Oh!
Well, what's the matter with you?
I've got a pain right there.
Sounds like appendicitis.
I don't know what it sounds like, but I know what it feels like.
How long have you been uncomfortable?
It come on me sudden.
Register him in 319. Phone Dr. McCary to come to the hospital at once.
Oh, lady, if you don't mind, could I have a room with a 7 in it? I'm kind of superstitious about 7.
707 is vacant, Miss Keith.
Very well, 707 then. Have the intern take care of him until Dr. McCary arrives. Order ice packs. He's to have nothing to eat or drink, not even water.
Yes, Miss Keith. Your name, please.
Mortimer Beatty, 42, contractor, 1012 West 72nd.
This way.
It hurts.
I got here as quickly as I could.
I'm sorry to get you out on a night like this after you've just come off a case.
Where's my patient?
He's in room 708.
All right, check me in. Normal.
Duffy, prepare 707 for this patient.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Oh.
Don't worry, mister. You're all right now. If you got a bad appendix, you won't have it long.
What are you looking for?
Well, I'm looking for your pulse.
Here it is, here.
Don't tell me, I'll find it. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to take your temperature first. Come on now, open your mouth.
Get away from me with that thing.
Hey, you're going to have your temperature took one way or the other.
Listen, I don't want you, and I don't want my temperature took.
Now,
Now,
wait a
get
minute.
away.
I'm supposed to undress you.
I'll do my own.
No, I'm supposed.
Listen, are you a nurse or what?
Oh, I'm a probationer.
A what?
I'm on probation.
Yeah? What were you in for?
For being a nurse?
What is this, double talk or what?
Come on, you better get to bed. You're sick.
Go away from me. I want a doctor and a nurse. A real nurse.
Tom is ready. You'll do your part, won't you?
I suppose so.
You can't back out now. You've got to go through with it.
I'll go through with it, but I'll never do anything like this again for anyone. Not even you.
It'll be all right. They can't suspect anything. This is a hospital. People die here all the time. They'll never notice one death more or less.
Who's that? What are you doing?
Well, what's the matter, Miss Keith?
The matter is, windows are left open when they should be closed.
Well, I closed that window myself not more than 10 minutes ago.
You probably opened it instead of closing it.
Yes, right away. Don't worry about the body. I'll take care of it.
June's dead. Well, can you tie that? Why, he walked in here an hour ago as well as I am, from what I could see. I know it. What was the matter with him? Well, it must have been his heart. Oh, I suppose so. That knocks him over quick. You never can tell when they'll go. Well, better make out a death certificate. Say, you shouldn't have notified the morgue room until after the certificate was signed. Why, I know I shouldn't, but... Well, it happened so suddenly. One minute he was well and talking and everything, and the next minute he was dead. Dr. Trigger finds out, he'll give you blazes. Say, Dr. McCary just came in. Get him to sign. Yes. Yes, he would. Say, hurry up with that thing, will you? Name, Alan Tracy. Cause of death? Heart failure.
Oh! Oh. Now then, what's the matter with you?
Are you a doctor?
Sure.
Then you tell me. Oh. Oh.
It hurt?
Certainly it hurts.
No rigidity at McBurney's point. I don't think you have appendicitis.
Oh, you don't, eh?
In fact, I don't think you have anything at all the matter with you.
Oh, I suppose I imagined that pain.
No, you could have a pain.
Oh, could I? Thanks, Doc.
Of course, your stomach seems a little swollen, but that doesn't worry me.
Well, if your stomach was swollen, it wouldn't worry me either.
Well, as long as you're here, you might as well stay for the night.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Nothing wrong with him that I can see. Just make him comfortable.
Yes, Doctor.
Well, well, fancy finding you here. I thought you were going to stay home and rest.
I was, but they called me. I have a patient.
Now, look here, Anne. You've been working too hard. You've just come off a very tough case, and you've had a lot of excitement this afternoon. You need rest.
I'm all right, David. And anyway, my case is over.
Over?
My patient is dead. He just died. Will you sign the death certificate?
Well, whose patient was he?
Dr. Trigger.
Then I can't sign the certificate. You know that. Trigger would skin me alive if I signed the death certificate for one of his patients. You better wait and let him do it.
But I can't, David. I'm in trouble.
What? Well, what do you mean? What kind of trouble?
Well, he died so suddenly, and I was in there alone with him. I got excited, I guess. I lost my head. I phoned the morgue room and had them remove the body.
If Trigger finds out you had the body removed before the certificate was signed, you are in for trouble.
I know it, David. That's why I want you to help me.
How long ago did you phone Kirby to come for the body?
Just now, a few minutes ago.
Maybe he hasn't taken it yet. Where is it?
In 708.
Well, I'll have a look just to prevent Trigger from kicking up a row.
Oh, but
you know how strict he is about regulations.
Tom must have taken it away.
Well, let's hope he hasn't. There's a good chance of it. Come on.
Good chance of what? What's the matter with you?
Nothing, I'm all right.
All right, well, you look half dead. Let me see your eyes. Dilated. Why, the girl's nearly hysterical. Huh. You better go to bed. You're in no condition to be on duty. I'll assign another nurse to your patient.
Well, that won't be necessary, Miss Keats. Her patient is dead.
Dead? Why, the man wasn't even sick. He was just in for diagnosis.
I know it. It must have been his heart. Oh, don't go in there, Miss Keats.
Don't go in.
Why not, Anne?
Well, he's dead.
I lost all fear of dead men a long time ago. It's only the live ones that get you into trouble. Who shot him?
Shot him?
What do you mean?
Why, he's been shot through the heart.
Oh, no. Oh.
Been shot, all right. Who killed him, Anne?
I don't know, David. I swear I don't. He just died, that's all.
Were you with him when he died?
Yes, of course. I'd been here only a few minutes.
Well, that's odd. That's very, very odd. You phone the police. I'll call Dr. Trigger. He'll be much the tougher of the two.
Calling Dr. Trigger. Calling Dr. Trigger. Calling Dr. Trigger. Have you seen Dr. Trigger?
No, Dr. Trigger isn't on this floor.
I'm trying to locate Dr. Trigger.
We've been looking for you all evening.
I've been here in the hospital.
Oh, you have? Then you know what's been going on.
I'm familiar with everything that goes on here.
That's what I thought.
I'm Inspector Mattoon of Police Headquarters. Who's in charge here?
Miss Keats, the night superintendent. I'll get her for you.
Yes? This is Miss Keats. Well, ask her to talk to Miss Smith and Dr. McCary. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Say you didn't know this Alan Tracy?
No,
Never heard of him before today, huh?
never.
You know any reason why anybody might want to kill him?
No, I don't.
Spirit of appendicitis. Come on, everybody.
What's up?
I think if you hurry, you can catch the murderer, whatever he is.
Come on, boys.
Whoever it is just went down.
Come on, boys. Stand where you are. I know what's coming, lady. We'll handle this. Come in out of that. Hurry up if you know what's good for you. What are you doing climbing down the fire escape? Speak up.
Do I have to tell?
I think you'd better.
Well, I was just going to the garage.
By the fire escape?
I didn't want Miss Keats to find out.
Find out what?
No, I had a date with an ambulance driver.
An ambulance driver.
I think you better stay indoors for the rest of the evening, Duffy. Tomorrow you'll be free to go where you please.
This fooling around has gone far enough. I want to talk to everyone concerned in this thing. Get them together for me. Come here, young lady. What did Miss Smith say when you called her and told her you had a patient for her?
She said she didn't want to come over, that she was tired.
But when she found out the guy was named Alan Tracy, she said she'd come right away. Is that right?
Sure, what's wrong with that? Maybe he was her boyfriend. You haven't got a law against boyfriends, have you?
Well, no. But we got laws against bumping them off. Send that Smith girl back in here again. All right, miss, that's all for now.
Miss Smith, Inspector Mattoon wants to talk to you.
Before you are questioned any further, Miss Smith, I don't know whether you murdered the man or not. And that's not my concern. But I do know that you've broken the rules of this hospital and you're through.
I'll say she's through. But what I'd like to find out is why she shot the guy.
You ordered the body removed to the morgue room before having the death certificate signed. You asked Dr. McCary to sign the death certificate when you knew that Tracy was my patient.
Just a moment. Did you say Alan Tracy was your patient? How long had you been treating him?
I never saw the man in my life.
What? What kind of doctrine is that?
Alan Tracy telephoned me this evening. He described what seemed to be a liver condition. I told him to come to the hospital for a diagnosis.
He telephoned you this evening?
Yes,
At what time, Doctor?
7:30.
Then he's the most remarkable man I ever heard of. The man upstairs in 708 has been dead at least 12 hours.
Are you sure of that, lady?
Just as sure as I am that you're a detective. Surer.
How could a guy make a telephone call at 7:30 if he's been dead since noon?
I'm sure I don't know.
Well, there's something funny here. What have you got to say about that?
Now, to here. You've browbeaten that girl long enough. Why don't you let her alone for a while and question the rest of us?
I've questioned everybody. They don't know a thing. Everything comes back to this girl.
Oh, fiddlesticks. Oh, Duffy.
Yes, ma'am?
Go find Tom Kirby and bring him to me.
You mean Tom Kirby?
That's what I said.
In the morgue room?
That's in the morgue room.
You know, Miss Keith, I don't feel very well. Maybe I better get off duty now.
Nonsense.
No, honest, I feel awfully bad. Maybe I'm coming down with something.
You go tell Tom Kirby I want to see him. I'll give you something to make you feel better.
Oh.
Why, Duffy, what's come over you?
Goose pimples.
If I'm not here, tell him to wait. I'll be on the 7th floor, and I'll go on.
Suppose we go up and look at the body. If the man has been dead for 12 hours, that changes the complexion of things.
Well, if he's been dead for 12 hours and made a telephone call at 7:30, I'm going to get a spiritualist on this case.
What are you looking for?
A murder. Have you seen him?
Only that doctor that was in here a little while ago.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now you get out of here, quit annoying sick people, will you? Oh. Oh.
I can't understand how he phoned me at 7:30.
This man never phoned anybody.
What do you mean?
This is not Alan Tracy.
Then who is he?
Dr. Trigger should know.
Well, Doctor, don't you know this Alan Tracy?
No, none of us do. But this man is Jacob Pearl, a charity ward patient who died at noon. I believe his death certificate was signed by Dr. Trigger.
Did you sign it without even looking at the body?
I'm a busy man, Inspector. I have many patients, and it would be impossible for me to recognize all of them in a hospital as large as this.
Well, what I'd like to know is, where is Alan Tracy?
Tom? Where are you, Tom?
What's the matter with you? What? Who's there? Who are you?
I still can't figure out why anybody would want to murder a dead man. The way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if more people died before morning.
Would you be surprised to learn that people are dying every day?
In this hospital?
In all of them.
Will someone please pay a little attention to me?
Who's this guy?
The gentleman in the room across the hall.
Oh, across the hall, huh? Have you seen anything funny going on here tonight?
The funniest thing is how I picked this hospital instead of a good one.
Just a minute, my man. Did you see anything unusual on this floor tonight?
Well, I did see a man crawl out of this room on his hands and knees.
Hey, you saw a man crawl out of here on his hands and knees and you didn't think it was funny?
Not in this hospital. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw acrobats doing flip-flops in the hall. Oh.
What time did you see all this?
I don't know. About the time the shots were fired.
What? About the time the shots were fired.
Shots or whatever they were. I told you nothing surprises me in this joint.
You say shots?
That's what I said. Now, I suppose you'll tell me I didn't hear them.
Well, that's funny. This man here was shot only once.
Did you hear anything else?
No. I thought that was enough.
Nothing in the corridor? Not a sound?
What did you want me to hear? The patter of little feet?
That would be something.
Well, I didn't. Nor big feet either. I just saw a man crawl out on his hands and knees, and I didn't hear nothing. Except the shots.
I think you're a hypochondriac.
I'm a what?
A nut to you.
A nut to you, too, lady. And I still say I didn't hear anything.
You go back to bed. You're a sick man. You've got no business on your feet. And if you're not sick, you've got no business in this hospital.
Oh, is that what this place is? Ah.
You know what I'd do if I were a detective?
Lady, this is no time to ask riddles.
I might try finding Tom Kirby.
Isn't that guy turned up yet? Say, maybe he knows something about this.
That's barely possible. He's the one Ann Smith phoned to remove the body. He's the only one who could have brought up a different body from the morgue and left it in this room. And he's the only one of the staff who's missing.
Say, Albert, he does know something.
Remarkable, my dear Sherlock.
I looked all over for Tom Kirby. I can't find him any place.
So you were looking for him, huh?
Naturally.
Well, I'll find him if I have to take this hospital apart stone by stone.
Don't overlook the woodwork. Now, I tell you what. You start on this floor and work down, and I'll start in the basement and work up.
Okay.
Miss Keats, can't I get off duty now?
No.
Oh.
I can't help feeling you're holding something back, Anne. I wish you'd tell me everything you know about this.
I can't tell you, David. Don't ask me why, I just can't. When the truth does come out, you may not want to marry me. I'm giving you back your ring now.
Oh, Anne, darling, please. You know I want to marry you no matter what's happened. But you must tell me about it so I can help you.
I haven't done anything, David, believe me. But I can't tell them what they want to know. It'll place someone I love in danger.
Who is it?
I can't tell you.
What does this mean?
Where'd you find that?
In Tom Kirby's overcoat. I think you'd better read this, Dr. McCary.
You write that note?
Yes.
Well, that's that.
I'd tell a man the truth if I loved him. Heaven forbid. Were you down the morgue room a little while ago?
Why should I go to the morgue room?
Many a good man's gone there. Thought you might have missed this. Yes, don't leave it in here. It isn't sterilized.
Now, look here, Miss Keats. I don't want you to misunderstand my position.
I understand your position very well. Very well indeed.
Well, we can't find out who murdered who. We can't even find out if anybody was murdered. That girl knows something. We've got to make her talk. Did you find Kirby?
No, did you?
No. I'm going to make that girl talk.
How? You going to use thumb screws or a Ouija board?
I'm going to use physiology.
Careful you don't get your face slapped.
Huh?
Oh, never mind. Skip it.
Miss Flint. She's into this up to her neck. You wait and see if I'm not right. Come in, Miss Smith. How are you feeling?
All right.
I thought you'd be glad to know I'm not going to question you anymore.
No, why not?
I've just had a call from headquarters. They've got Tom Kirby, and they're working on him now. Of course, he'll confess. Now, you can make it much easier on yourself by talking first.
They've arrested Tom?
That's right. Now, why don't you just tell me what it's all about?
I have nothing to say.
All right, sister. You'll have to talk sooner or later.
May I go now?
As long as you don't leave the hospital.
Listen, they've arrested Tom Kirby. If they make him talk, we're in terrible trouble. Oh, no, you mustn't do that. I won't have it. There must be something else we can do. Let me talk to you first before you do anything. Meet me here in room 708. Yes.
There isn't any doubt that this is a murder.
Why, it's Tom Kirby, and he's been shot through the heart. What happened here? Oh!
Well, now we know that Kirby wasn't the murderer. Why don't you open up? What are you holding out for?
All right, I'll tell you everything I know.
That's the stuff.
Alan Tracy is my brother. His real name is Arthur Smith.
Well, we're not worried about him anymore. We want to know who murdered Tom Kirby.
I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is what I know. 3 years ago, my brother got into bad company. He became involved with the gang. He was arrested, and the judge gave him a suspended sentence and placed him on probation.
What mob was he running with?
The newspapers called it the Lucky Frank gang.
I know them. Nice people. They'd cut your throat for a nickel.
He'd been working steadily and reporting to the probation officer twice a week. This afternoon, he drove me to the bank so I could deposit a check and waited outside for me. He was recognized by one of the gang who robbed the bank. They jumped into our car and forced him to drive them away.
So that's what he told you, is it?
Yes, and I believe him.
Where is he now?
He's on his way here now.
Well, I'm not investigating a bank robbery. I'm investigating a murder.
Remember, Lieutenant, great oaks from little acorns grow.
And a bird in the hand.
He's worth 2 from the Bronx.
Shakespeare never said that.
If he had, you'd have arrested him. You wanted the girl to talk. Why don't you listen to her?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, the men who robbed the bank made my brother drive them. He crashed the car, then he jumped out and ran. They shot at him. They knew him by the name of Alan Tracy. He'd never told them his real name. Now he was afraid they'd try to find him and kill him, to keep him from identifying them. He didn't want to go to the police because he was on probation, and he didn't think he'd be believed.
Lady, will you skip the bank robbery and tell us what happened here tonight?
After my brother got away, he came straight to his best friend, Tom Kirby. They'd gone to grammar school together. Arthur knew Tom would help him. He was desperate, afraid for his life. And then Tom got a wild idea.
I bet it was wild.
He reasoned that if the gangsters thought Arthur were dead, they'd forget about him. Then he could go to another city and start life again under another name. Now, the way to do that was to have someone by the name of Alan Tracy die and a death certificate and a body to prove it.
Now, there's a real screwy idea.
And that's what I told him, but Tom said it was the only way out. And he had a body, one of a charity patient, which would never be claimed.
That accounts for the body of Jacob Pearl being placed in 708. But it doesn't account for the bullet being fired into his body or for the murder of Tom Kirby.
Wait a minute. I got it. This girl and her brother put a slug into Pearl's body so it would look like he died of a bullet wound. Then the two of them bumped off Kirby to keep him from talking.
What a time a clinic would have with that brain of yours.
Your story doesn't hold water, sister. Maybe your brother helped them bandits escape, but there's more to it than that. What I want to know is, was Tom Kirby your sweetie?
No.
Well, then maybe you had another reason to kill him. Maybe you got tired of him when you fell for Dr. McCary here.
No, that's not true.
Well, then what did you do? Bump off Kirby to keep him from telling McCary your brother was a crook? Why did you write that note to Kirby?
I'll take her upstairs and
Wait a
see what
minute.
we can do for her.
I heard it.
Well, Inspector Mattoon, I suppose you feel better now. Haven't you got this all figured out yet?
Figured out? What do you think I am?
I'd like to tell you, but I don't use that kind of language.
What?
Thank you, Doctor. I'll take care of her.
She'll be all right.
Take it easy, honey.
I told him everything I knew.
Sure you did. I wish you told me before now. All I want to do is to help you.
Help my brother. I was to meet him in 708.
You bet I will.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Here.
Oh.
What is all this about?
Oh. I'm a sick man. I'm in pain. Will someone please do something about it? Oh.
The pain comes in spells, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it, in spells.
Because you couldn't have been in much pain when you saw the man crawl out of the room across the hall, or you wouldn't have noticed him.
That's right. There wasn't any pain then.
You had a good look at that man, did you?
Sure I did.
At his face?
I couldn't see his face. He had it kind of covered, like with his shoulder.
But you'd know him again if you saw him?
I'll tell the world I would.
Let's have a look at that appendix.
Go easy, Doc.
Did Dr. McCary tell you didn't need an operation?
Yeah.
If he'd allowed you to go until morning without the removal of that appendix, it would have been a form of murder. Your appendix is on the point of bursting.
No. Is it?
Positively. It must come out at once. I prepare surgery and operate in 30 minutes. Well, Dr. McCary, have 707 prepared for surgery at once.
Surgery?
I'm going to remove his appendix.
You can't do that. The man's as well as I am.
Is that your opinion?
It is, absolutely.
Well, he's my patient. Prepare him for surgery. You will administer the anesthetic.
Miss Keats, Dr. Trigger insists upon operating on 707.
Well, that's tough on 707.
But the man's not sick.
He will be. But we've got something more important to worry about than 707's appendix. Now, I've just figured out something. The man who was shot in 708 was shot by mistake.
Huh?
What do you mean?
It's very simple. There couldn't have been any reason for shooting a dead man. Whoever shot that man in 708 believed he was Alan Tracy.
Well, all that is a matter for the police. We have our own work to do here. Please follow my instructions and prepare 707 for surgery. At once.
What would you do?
I'd obey the instructions of my superior.
I have a better idea.
I thought I gave you some instructions, Doctor.
Before you operate, Dr. Trigger, we'd like you to explain something.
Explain something?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to know why you said you was in the building when you wasn't.
And why you entered the hospital by way of the fire escape. Your overshoes were found with green paint on the soles.
You are interfering in something which is decidedly none of your concern.
It's my concern. I want to know why you went down to Tom Kirby's office a while ago and what you took out of his desk when you went there.
As chief of staff of this hospital, I am accountable to no one, not even the police, for any actions of mine on the premises.
Except when they provide a motive for a murder.
Murder? Do you think I murdered Tom Kirby? That's too ridiculous to deny. I had no motive.
I've heard of less important motives than fear of someone whose life has been ruined.
What do you mean by that?
Only that besides being chief of staff here, you're dean of the College of Medicine at the State University. Tom Kirby was a student there. On 3 separate occasions, you prevented him from taking his state board examinations and being admitted to practice.
I refused to pass him, yes. He wasn't fit to be a doctor.
All right, but he blamed you for wasting 6 years of his life in the study of medicine. You knew how he worshipped the medical profession. He wanted to be a doctor more than anything in the world. He was screwy on the idea.
Yeah, I know. What they call a kleptomaniac.
I know you were in Kirby's office tonight searching his belongings because you knocked me down when you ran out.
You can't prove any of that.
Maybe not, but you can. I saw him take something out of Kirby's office.
All right, Doc, let's see what you got in your pockets.
I warn you, sir, that I am head of the staff here and a respected member of a profession
which does not presume to include charlatans and murderers.
Oh, he's a charlatan, is he? There's a tough rap for that, too. All right, Doc, what did you take? Huh. You found this at Kirby's desk, did you?
Yes.
Well, what about it?
I talked to Kirby early in the evening. He became abusive, and I was about to discharge him when I noticed that the pupils of his eyes were dilated and that he was obviously under the influence of some narcotic, you understand?
I get it. Go ahead.
I'm in charge of this hospital and this personnel. It's my duty to investigate. I did so and found that box in Kirby's desk.
But why did you enter the hospital by way of the fire escape?
I went to Kirby's apartment and searched it. Naturally, I didn't want anyone to know where I was or why.
Well, it sounds all right to me. Sorry, Doc.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an operation to perform. I shall need you in surgery, Doctor.
Why, it's Alan Tracy.
You did it. You're the one that tried to kill Tracy in 708. You bungled that, now you're trying it again. You thought you'd get me to help you.
Don't be a fool. That man isn't dead. He's injured. Give him emergency treatment.
Get iodine gauze and a piece of tape.
I'm going upstairs and see what happened to 707. Put this man in a room. And you say no one came near you?
Not a soul. Say, were you trying to operate on another guy to take out my appendix? What kind? Well, fellow, God, get away from me, will you?
Where is he, Dr. Trigger? Is he all right?
Is who all right? Alan Tracy?
Yes, Alan Tracy. My brother, Arthur Smith. What happened to him?
Oh, he isn't badly hurt. Just a slight concussion.
But who did it?
Well, I guess I did.
What?
Well, I seen a guy come in the window from the fire escape. I didn't know who he was, and I'm just a bundle of nerves anyway, so I bopped him on the bean with the bedpan.
Hmm?
Well, that's all I had with me, and then I got panicky, and I put him on a stretcher.
Well, Duffy, you had a perfect score of blunders tonight.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Where is he now, Dr. Trigger?
I just saw them put him in 415.
May I go there? May I take care of him?
What you need is someone to take care of you.
But I want to be near him. I've got to be near him.
There's a nurse's cot in 415.
All right, go there and lie down. You've got to get some sleep. Tell Miss Keats I ordered some sodium amytal for Miss Smith, 7.5 grains.
7.5 grains?
I want you to sleep.
Say, that ought to make you sleep for a week.
And you say your appendix has stopped bothering you?
Doc, I haven't had a pain for an hour. Maybe you scared it out of me, huh? Huh? You know, the thought of them knives and everything. No. I think I'll just sleep here tonight and go home in the morning.
You do nothing of the kind. You are going to have that appendix out.
Hey, Doc. Wait a minute, will you?
Honey, just take this little pill, and 5 minutes later you'll be in dreamland.
No, I can't. I don't want to.
Oh, come on, honey, take it.
I don't dare sleep. I don't dare, I tell you.
Dr. McCary. Hello, Dr. McCary. Please come down and prepare surgery for 7:07 at once. Excuse me, Doctor, but did you take a scalpel from the surgery?
The only place I use a scalpel is in the surgery.
How's Anne?
She should be asleep by now. I gave her the sedative Dr. Trigger ordered.
You should have taken it earlier.
Well, she'll be dead to the world for a few hours. That's what she needs.
I hope you had sense enough to put her on another floor, not on the 7th floor. Her nerves couldn't stand that.
She's in 415.
415? Why, that's where her brother is.
Well, she wanted to be near him.
Well, what's the matter with everyone? Are they all deaf, dumb, and blind? Doesn't anyone know that another attempt has been made to kill Alan Tracy? Every minute that Anne is in that room, her life is in danger. Get back up to 415 at once, Dr. McCary, and don't leave there under any circumstances. Do you hear? Come on! He's on his way!
Wait a minute. Who's on his way?
The murderer! He's on his way to 415!
Pity.
Good old spirit of appendicitis.
I'll never forget the look on Beatty's face when I told him I was going to remove his appendix.
What was the idea of telling him that when you knew you weren't going to do it?
Because if he was under ether, he couldn't run around loose. I suspected he was the killer sent by the bank bandit the minute he said that he saw the man on his hands and knees and heard no noise. Now, anyone leaving 708 on their hands and knees would have allowed the door to bang behind them. The catch was broken.
Poor Tom Kirby. He gave his life to help a friend.
Yeah. Wonder how you got Tracy out without being seen.
He took my brother down on the same stretcher he used to bring Pearl's body up and let him out the side door.
When he came back for the body, he must have seen Beatty entering the room. He followed him to see what Beatty was up to, and Beatty shot him and hauled his body to the sunroom on Kirby's own perambulator.
Those bandits thought they were smart, hiring an out-of-town gangster nobody knew. But I looked him up, and he had a record as long as my arm. Anyway, we got the whole gang. And young Tracy's got nothing to worry about.
Well, didn't scare me none. What I always say is, all's well that ends well. You know, it's the first time today that I really felt well and happy.
What's the matter, Duffy?
I got an awful pain right here. Oh. Right.
I knew this was too peaceful to last.
Oh.
Well, let me see. Oh, yes, son.
Oh. Ow. Oh.
Dr. McCary, prepare surgery at once.
What's the matter with me, Doc?
Young woman, you have acute appendicitis.
Oh, Dr. Traeger. I'll bet you say that to all the girls.